Hello, 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 hello. Hopefully we're live. Ooh, I'm so tired today. Ooh, but I'm sure we will get some messages and some vibrations that'll help me to wake up. Let's. There we go. Better. Hello, hello, hello. I was looking at the Earth Analytics. I was looking at the Schumann resonance. Hi, Tarot Goddess. Thank you for being here. Whew, I am tired. It has been like not the same kind of like high energy, tiring day as like we were having in September, but I don't know. Something coming in and is draining my energy. And it just feels crazy. Thanks for coming in. Let me know what numbers you have. I'm just fiddling around with shit over here, so let me know if any of this noise is bothering you. um, Let me know what numbers you've been seeing. Um, any topics, general topics today, and hip hop topics tomorrow that you'd like to talk about. Hey, New Beginnings! Thanks for being here. What numbers are we seeing? What vibrations are we experiencing? I have one. I kind of don't want to talk about it though. I kind of don't want to talk about it because it's kind of annoying to me, but it is number related and relevant. But I'll wait and see what what you all have. Anybody have any repeating numbers or numbers that you wanted to look at? Yeah, sure. Give me his birthday and we'll look at his numbers. And then while we're doing his numbers, pull up your life path number. I think I remember it, but I don't know. Make sure you have yours so we can look at the relationship between the two of you. And we can see what is happening. Okay. Well, first off, because I know that you, New Beginnings, have a Cancer sun, and our sun sign is like how our brain works, it's how we think, um, is in Cancer. And then your sun is right on the cusp of Sagittarius and Capricorn, where if it was just a few days later where his sun sign would have been in Capricorn, you would have been more in sync because Capricorn is directly opposite of Cancer. So you're opposites but think very much similar. But because he's in Sagittarius, the way that he thinks is going to be offset from you because his mind is in Sagittarius, which is the philosopher, and is very much like the philosopher teacher. So those Sagittarius suns, the way they think is so big and broad sometimes that it can feel very disjointed, um, and can be hard for people to be able to um, sync up with. And then the communication styles are going to be very different because Sagittarius is very much about that big, big picture information, whereas Cancer is very much about in the home space. So you're starting from different perspectives in the way that you think. So just looking at his birthday just now, um, that's one thing I can tell you right now. And let me know if that is feeling accurate and helpful, and if you have any other questions. And let's look at his birthday. So he has December 19th. We'll do the year first. Do this the year first for this young buck. Look at this youngin. How you have a single digit for your birth year? Uh, so we get 4 there, and then we're adding the 12 and the 19. And it's interesting because I actually was supposed to be born on the 19th of December, but decided to be late and was born on the 23rd. So I was almost a Sagittarius. Um, I'm also near that cusp between Sagittarius and Capricorn, but I'm on the Capricorn side. So his life path number is 35. Yeah, Sagittarius brains are extremely smart, but they're the type of people that can be really smart in a particular area, or they want to use their smartness in a particular way, which can bump heads with people. Hi, Doc. Thanks for being here. So, for anybody, if you're seeing numbers, if there's a topic you want to talk about, let me know in the chat. So, with this 35 life path number, um, his first step really is about change. So, and because he's still young, he's probably still figuring out how to be able to maneuver with change. But once he figures that out, he's pretty good with change. Like he can roll with the punches pretty well. He may not be able to right now as much, but also with this change, with this 5, um, and with his age, he may need a little bit more time for things to change over, especially with that Sagittarius sun. Um, like that fast pace change, he probably doesn't like. Where that's a lot of times what's happening in schools in particular is they're changing topics very quickly. They're changing their classrooms and so changing subjects very quickly. They're trying to get through a lot of material very fast, and so that environment is it's really not conducive to really any of us, but it's really not conducive to the way that his brain works. um, so that's something to just keep in mind and maybe be able to work through. But once he figures out how to be able to work with change, he'll be able to maneuver through change pretty easily. But he can be somewhat stubborn with changing. Like even when it's like a necessary change, he might dig his heels in a little bit. But as he gets older, um, and learns how to be able to maneuver through the change in his own way, then he'll be fine. He'll be fine. But that might be something that you have to be patient with him on, is him learning how to be able to maneuver and move through this change. Because once he's able to do that, then he can grow very quickly. This is one of the people that when they make a change, it's like a full change and it grows very quickly, like very fast. You'll see the growth that's coming from the change. And um, then this goes to that 8. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, yep, okay, yep, yep. Because school is just not, it doesn't, like the way he thinks is just not gonna work for him. Um, and that's kind of how it was for me as well. Like I was kind of at times too smart for my own good. Hi, Tony. Thanks for coming by to say hi. Thank you so much. So, what you want to help him with is to understand when it's time to change and how to be able to change in his own way so that his stubbornness doesn't cause him to not change. Because once he changes, then he'll grow very, very quickly and grow into like the new space. And he's meant to bring into the world um, some, because he's a Sagittarius, it's going to be some illumination to the cycles. So, from like his jacked up school experience, he could potentially be a person that is able to show how the school system, because that's one of these cycles, it's done the same way over and over again, isn't working for everybody. So it is like Malice says, this is not hip hop day, but I love the lyric that let your mess become your message when Malice is speaking about his dad. And this is how his mess can become his message, because he will begin to recognize how this energy comes back around and it repeats itself of this you have a cause and an effect. You take an action and you have an effect from it. That's ultimately what he's supposed to be learning and learning about and contributing to the world is information about these kinds of cycles. But he can't get there without making the change so he can grow first. And honestly, it's probably mostly his age right now, because he's at the age where he's trying to build up that identity. So it's very much in that first step of trying to build up what does change look like for him in his identity space. And at his age, it's very difficult anyway to build up your identity. Um, New beginnings, do you have your life path number? I think I remember it, but I don't want to. I don't want to guess. I'm tired. I don't feel like guessing. To be quite honest, like this week has been a pretty good week. There's just been a lot of energy, and as I was starting live, I was on the other screen, kind of looking at the earthquakes and the Schumann resonance and all of that. Yeah, it's one where we added up your birthday together. I just don't remember what it is. But we need that so that we can see how you're resonating together. So while you find that, for everybody else, we're looking at the life path number of New Beginnings middle sun. And so, what everybody can take from this is that if you know somebody's birthday, you can get their life path number. And then, if you add it to your life path number, that's like the blending of your vibrations. So, it can help you to know how to be able to work with that person and how to be able to communicate with that person. Okay, that's what I thought it was. New beginnings. That's what I thought it was. I just didn't want to. I didn't want to guess. But yeah, you're right. It is 29. So your sun is this 35 life path, and then your life path is 29. And first off, like we already talked about, like the kind of contrasting way that you think, because your sun sign is how you think. Um, hey, LTFM, thanks for being here. Let me know what numbers you're seeing. I'm sure you've been seeing lots of numbers. Um, so your sun sign is how you think. It's your mind and how your mind works and how you can interact with these other vibrations through the mind. So we already saw where there could be some contrasting vibrations there. The other one, though, is your first steps. So sometimes people try to use change, which would be this five, and nine, which is ending. They try and look at those as like synonymous or like the same thing, and they're really, really not. Not even when nine is shifting, they're very different. Um, and so this is where some of the initial like tension in your communication and working together is going to be, because while your first step in situations and in life is to try and bring a completion or to be thinking about the end when you are whatever you're doing, in everything that you're doing you're thinking about the end. um but he's not thinking about the end. He doesn't have a nine in here at all. And actually he wants to try and get to the eight. So your nine energy could be pushing him too far. He's not going to understand that. So when you are working with him and communicating with him, you want to make sure that you're not trying to get him to see the end result, because he's not going to be able to see it. Instead, you help him to see what the change is that needs to be made, or what the cause and effect of the whole situation is. So that's the first little piece here. If we add these together, hi, Mai. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you so much. If we add these together, we get 64. So together, the way that you can blend these life path number vibrations is to be able to work on stability and foundations is your first step. Okay, good. Thank you for that confirmation, New Beginnings. I'm glad it's resonating and working. But this four is foundations and stability. So if you work together where you can see the end of how do we get to a stable place, a foundation is strong, and he's working on what needs to change to be able to get to this stability. Now that pulls you both out of your personal vibrations and pulls you into this combined vibration. So then you can actually work together. Because by really examining this stability and the foundation, then you're able to actually have discussions and work on the comfort. And for you, that's really important because that Cancer brain likes to go to the comfort of the home. Yeah, that's not going to work. You're not going to be able to get him to see the end of like the result of his actions. Yeah, you're not going to be able to. Hi, Josh. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. So what you want to focus on with him is the change that needs to be made and why that change would be important and what could come back around. Because that's similar to that, what comes to the end. but you need to talk about it in a way where it's cause and effect, not an ending. And if you can focus on it in a way where you focus your conversations and the work you do together on like this stability, like what is stability, what are the things that you can do to bring stability into your life and build stability and work on that together, and how that relates to comfort, that's going to be really helpful. um and also just remembering it's mostly his age is just where he is in life. But when you're able to do this together, now you are getting to this 10. That's when now God can come in and help and support you to give you both a new way of thinking and doing and interacting with each other, because you're meant to um, figure out how to bring in this new energy and to do this new thing. You're meant to do that. That, like, your vibrations together are saying it. But it's going to take, doing things a little bit different. Do you have any questions, New Beginnings? Does that help? Everybody put your topics and your numbers in the chat. Yeah. Yep, I'm at a 5 now. I just saw that at right as before I was coming in. That it's now at 113. So we're at a 5 for change. And that 13 is like the biggest kind of change you can make. It's that transformation change. I don't know why I'm waving my water bottle around like that, but I am. Oh, that's right, New Beginnings. You like 5s. So then you should be able to adjust a little bit to his 5. Just remember that he likes those 5s too. The vibration of them. But he's trying to figure them out. Yeah, so right now it's kind of twofold because of the age that he's at. So we've talked about before where the way our vibrations work as we grow is we have. So before I talk about this, let me go back and just talk about this part. That looking at these, how your vibrations blend and come together, this is the first thing that you're going to be able to do to help, is just by understanding that his life path number vibration is different, and try to meet him at his level and instead of your own, and try and help find a solution um, for all of his situations that are focused on his life path number or this combination of your life path numbers. So you got to step out of your vibration a little bit to be able to do that. So that's the first thing. The other thing is to remember that the way that our vibrations work is we start with the core of our vibrations. So we have like our life path number, we have our name, we have our astrology, we have our DNA, our ancestry. All of those things are going into this middle space, this triangle, that make us who we are. And then as we're traveling on our life path, we are going through these 3 separate squares of our path. And so this first one is youth. And this goes from the time you're born until about 27 years old. So you're not actually considered vibrationally grown until you're at 27. And then you go through power, which starts around 27 and goes to 54. And then you go to wisdom, which goes from 54 to like 81 and on. So, with him being in this youth square right now, his goal is to build his identity. He is supposed to be testing things out to build his identity. Is what this youth is. And I know from my experiences with my own children that it's we really we can see ahead of them how things could really change their whole life, like one of these decisions that they make in their youth. But it's so hard. Like, I can't even barely say it, and my kids are grown, but it's really hard to allow your children to make those decisions for themselves in their own life. And so instead of talking about building your identity as you should do this, you should do that, we have to work with youth in helping them to see their identity and begin to define who they want to be. So instead of talking about things of like, oh, if you continue on this path, these bad things are going to happen, it really should be more of conversations about, if you continue on this path, this is who you could potentially end up being. This is who your identity could be. And so we have to, like, as the parent, change some of our conversation. And also remember that even for yourself, you have a different vibration, but you're also in a different space. Because we're new beginnings, you and we're in this power. This is where we're testing the strength of our identity. So this is why we see more of that everything like a test, and you have to like make good decisions for your test. That's why we see it this way, because that's the space we're in. But we have to shift our thinking when we're working with people that are in the youth. Okay, perfect. So if this is what you're doing, then you're doing the right thing, and it's all that you can do. And the only other thing you could do is maybe tap into that 9 energy for yourself. And when he makes a decision, let it go and let it be his decision. And I know that's way easier said than done. I still don't do that well with my grown children. But that 9 energy and your life path number will help you do that. Oh, you were doing the wrong thing? Oh, well then, yeah, change that. Change that. Do you have any other questions? Oh, okay. Okay, I get it now. I get it now. I get it now. That you were doing the opposite. So this is how you should change the conversation. Hopefully this helps. Let me know what other questions you have. Let me see what else we got in the chat. Let's see. Mm. Oh, you did? Okay, you might have to put I'm going back in the chat. But I might need some some help here. Ah, okay, Josh, that's a good one. Remind me of that one. We have Judy has yes. Okay, you have some and then we have okay, mine. Feel free to contact me through Discord and we will chat. So I got that one. So let I don't see your numbers um new beginnings. Can you put those in again? I will look at Judy's numbers because I have them right here, and then I'll answer Josh's question. And then if I missed anybody, go ahead and put it again into the chat. Um, oh, yeah, that's great advice. LTFM. Thank you for adding that. You went crazy this week, Judy? I don't know what was like it there was the energy was just very big this week. All right, so let's see. So we have Judy's numbers here. I'm so glad none of y'all have brought up the topic that I was told to talk about. I will talk about it because I was told to talk about it when I was meditating, but I don't want to because it's stupid. But we will. But probably at the end. Not right now. Not right now. All right. So we have woo, you gotta yeah, you were going crazy if this is all you were seeing. 111 1111 1011 and 444. Okay, so just looking at these, let me know, Judy, if you have any specific questions about these numbers or if they're coming in a particular pattern. It sounds like it's different um, and not necessarily the same. My goodness. But let's see. Oh, wait, what did I miss? New beginnings. Okay, so you want to look at with your job. Is it the numbers you want to look at with your job? Give me a little bit more information in the chat and we'll add that to our list. So first thing, Judy, what I'm seeing is these really about um these numbers really are about the just the new energy that's coming in because we just went through September, which was that crazy 9 energy. We're in a 2025 year that's also 9 energy. So we moved out so much energy. Um oh yeah. Yeah, I've been seeing that too where like I keep seeing a lot of triple digits. That's why I put out that post. So if anybody hasn't seen it, you could go um, and look at my most recent post. That if you're seeing a lot of repeating numbers and extra angel numbers, there's some very big energy that's moving in. And that's what all of these ones are. It's because we have October. Let me get a different color here. We have October that is operating at a 19 that's going to a 10 to a 1. So it has a whole bunch of this new energy that's coming in and wanting us to be able to start using this new energy. We have November, which I'm actually very proud of myself because I um, already started recording our November videos that we'll get in a couple of weeks. Um, Usually I'm all late. You'll get those early before November starts. Uh-huh. November is operating at a 20 that's going to a 2. And this 2 really is about the integration of energy. So in September, we built up the energy and we cleaned it up so that we could make space for the new energy and how we wanted to use this new energy that was coming in October. And then November, we're integrating it into our vibrational system and into our life. And then in December is when we get this 21, where now we have this one energy again. And it's more again about using more of this one energy in order to grow in the 3. So all of these ones, I'm not surprised that you're seeing a lot of those. That's really just alerting you to, hey, there's a lot of new energy. Make sure that you're being intentional and you're using it. Oh, hi, lovely. Thanks for being here. Hi, Noah. Thanks for being here. Welcome. As for this 444, this is actually giving you a hint as to how you can use this. So if the all of these ones is like your getting your attention, it's getting your attention for this 444. So this 444, 4 really is about foundations and stability. And so you should be using a lot of this new energy to examine your definitions of stability, examine the foundations that are going into giving you stability, and how things might need to change or shift. Because it's 3 4s altogether, this means that you have some foundations that need to be examined and you need to be building up true stability in multiple areas of your life in order for you to be able to have a change in perspective that'll help you grow. So it's the all of those ones are like bringing attention to what you're needing to do, and these 4s are telling you what to do. This is like your action, and it's changing your perspective by changing the foundations and like how you're defining stability. Yeah. But it's changes to the foundational things. So it's like how things are defined, how things are uh like what are the mindsets and the actions that you take on a regular basis, thinking that that makes things stable. I'm so glad you're here, lovely V. I know this is your first live, and I've been trying to get you to come, and I'm so glad that you're here. Does this help, Judy? Does this make sense? Um, but you want to make sure that you're focusing on the changes within stability and foundations of things, because that's where the changes actually are. It's a change in perspective. So it's changing the way that you're looking at things. Okay, perfect. Perfect. And that's what needs to happen so growth can happen. But, like I always say, these are neutral vibrations. So you have to be very careful that that growth is happening in the direction that you want it to. And it's not like going off kilter. It's at least on two different levels, if not more. That's why you have all of these fours. And it's, yeah, it could be home and work, but it's impacting like multiple areas of life. So it's digging in and figuring out what are these foundational things that are impacting multiple areas of uh, your life. Okay. Okay. So hopefully this helps you to be able to focus in on what you need to be able to do. Oh, I'm so glad, lovely. I'm sorry you're having a bad day, Noah. Hopefully you can sit in some of this good positive energy and take it in and relax a bit so that you can begin to feel better. But also know tomorrow's a new day. Sometimes when I have a bad day, sometimes I just go to bed. It could be like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, yeah, no, this day sucked. I'm going to bed. I need this day to end. I'm out. Oh my goodness. Okay. Okay. So I'm seeing some of your other messages, Judy. So please make sure to let me know if we've covered everything for you with these vibrations. And also let me know. It feels like there's another vibration, like there's another number, but you may not have seen it yet. So tomorrow, let me know if you're seeing something different. Um, let's see. I'm trying to get back to your stuff, Josh. How? Okay, what's this weird one? So your life path number you is aligned with July 23rd. The word discovery. Okay, give me some more information, Josh, about what you mean that it's aligned with. But we'll look at discovery and at this particular date. And everybody, please feel free to go ahead and put your topics and your numbers in the chat. And we will chitty chat. Okay, so the date is July 23rd, 2022. And the word is discovery. Huh. All right, so let's look at this vibration while we're waiting to get more information. Hi, Eva. Thanks for being here. Welcome in. So let's see what this is. So if we add up this year to give us 6, and then we add we get 36. Okay. Just giving us a 9. Okay. 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 Yeah, nope, that's good, Josh. Thank you for giving me that information. Well, hmm. So my ears are starting to ring as I'm trying to like tap into this vibration to really understand what is happening. So one thing is um that it's really important for you to be able to understand is not the right word. I think it's somewhere in between understand and accept, because neither one of those is the right word. It's kind of like something in between there. Hopefully that makes sense for you, Josh. But it's really important for you to like understand, accept um, this message in this year. Yeah, persevere. I think that comes next. I think you have to first like understand, accept um what this message is, and then you're able to persevere through it. But if you try and push through it, that's like taking action outside of vibrational flow. It's like trying to walk up the river flow. It'll be really hard. So you'll need to make sure to uh first give yourself the time to understand the messages that are coming through, but you have the next, few months. You still have this year. And in actuality, it just needs to be in 2025 energy. And for each of us, we don't step into 2025 energy until our birthday in the year 2025. And then we actually are in that 2025 energy until our birthday in 2026. So you actually have a lot more time than just what would be the calendar year. Hopefully that makes sense, Josh. But the first step really is understanding this message, because whatever it is that is happening, it's disrupting your comfort. It's shifting what you find comfortable, and it's making you examine um, what you're comfortable with. Like stuff that you have been comfortable with now all of a sudden can be very uncomfortable. Okay, new beginnings. I'll try and go back in the chat and find it. Yeah, we can go back to your numbers, new beginnings. Yeah, I'll go back to your numbers after we talk about Josh's. So it's very like these messages and vibrations that are coming through are very disruptive to your comfort. That's where this shift, this change is coming from. Um, but as you examine and understand what this message is and accept what these messages are, accept what has happened or what is happening, then that's going to allow you to grow. But you have to be very intentional about this growth, because this growth is going to come from the comfort that you establish. And it's hard because we grow the most when we're uncomfortable. So the comfort that you're using to grow into these new spaces really could be uncomfortable or meant to be uncomfortable. I hope this is making sense, Josh. Let me know. Um, it feels like you feel like you need to like push through and there's stuff that you need to do, but you're missing this step of just being, just being in it, even if it's uncomfortable. And that's what could be confusing or making it harder for you. Because all of this is meant for you to be able to get to this nine, where this is an ending of cycles. And these cycles, they're not just the cycles in your life. So they're not just like the habits and behaviors and the ways of thinking for you, but it's also like the habits, the behaviors, the ways of thinking of other people around you, and it feels more like people you grew up around. So this is like breaking generational curses. This is actually very big. But you need to understand how big it is so that you give yourself the time and space to one, just be in it, and then be able to take some action. Mm. Yeah, that tends to happen, Josh, that um I know for myself, as I grew more spiritually and began to understand that um most of the world that I was living in was really just an illusion, then it became harder to actually live and work through that world. And I think the transition points when we're growing is the most difficult. So, lovely, we're just going over. Anybody can put numbers or questions that they have in the chat. And so, right now, we're looking at this date and this word for Josh. Okay. Yes. Okay, good. Okay. I'm glad that this is making sense. So it really is figuring out um what this new space is for you. I'm glad you found us too. You're definitely meant to be here. So let's look at this word discovery that keeps coming up for you. So, for Lovely and anybody else that hasn't been here before, um, we take any words that keep coming up in our lives or like are really loud. So, you know how sometimes like you can be listening to somebody talk and their volume doesn't change, but a particular word just feels louder. Um, those are actually vibrational messages. And so we take those words and figure out what the vibrations are. So, discovery. So, if we take the alphabet, where A equals 1 and Z equals 26, then that'll give us the numbers that we need to be able to find the vibration of this word. So D is 4, uh, I is 9, S is 19, C is 3, O is 15, V is 22, E is 5, R is 18, and Y is 25. So let me get my handy dandy calculator and we will see what we have here. I love it how all your questions always come to very similar conclusions. So this adds up to 120. So this word discovery, it is asking you to the vibration that it's bringing to you is asking you to allow God in. So that zero is the only um, vibration that we have no control over. And so when we have the zero here, we have to let go of control and allow that energy from the universe, allow that energy from God to be able to come in and support us and help guide us. You know what, Noah? I think that's really why you're here. Because I can probably bet that most of us have felt that way before. And for me, that has been most of my life. But when you are able to step into just being you and not being anybody else, that's when you find the people that will accept you and love you for being you. I didn't think I was ever going to find that. Um, and I just became a loner, and it was okay for me to be a loner. And it's actually when I started this YouTube channel and found you all that I was like, oh, I can be my true weird self that sees the world in numbers in a very unique way and not just be accepted, but be loved. So I hope that for you too. And I hope you keep coming back and we keep talking about how you can step into your most authentic self. Because we already looked at your numbers, Noah, and your most authentic self is very powerful. Yeah. And similar to like what Judy has said, really focus in on finding yourself and building up yourself so that you can come into any space as your most authentic self. Okay, I needed that to just sit for a minute. But back to discovery. So, discovery vibration is asking for you, Josh, because this is what you're seeing, but for all of us that encounter this vibration, to take a step back, not try and have control, not try and force the action or the process or the vibration, and be able to just truly take a step back and just be. And when we can do that, then just like we saw with Judy's numbers, we'll get to a change in perspective. You'll be able to see things differently, and then that will allow you to be able to grow. So it really is letting go first. And I think that's also, it's again, it's what keeps coming up is that you're trying to do the right thing or move in the right direction, but you're skipping the first step of just letting it be. Mm, yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's what happens, Josh. It's kind of like if you've been sitting in the dark. So the way I like to describe it is like you're sitting in the dark for years, and then you see a little pinhole of light and you get excited and you start moving towards the light. But when you first step out into the light, you're still blinded. You still can't see. But now it's not you can't see because of the dark, but you can't see because the light is so bright and you need to adjust to it. You're in this adjustment period. It's you need to be able to adjust so that you can see clearly. And that's part of um, letting go of that control. Yes, Josh. Yes. Yeah. And in actuality, um, it doesn't matter if it's a trick or not because what you're meant to do is still the same. Yes. But again, it is like um you've been in the dark all this time and you're in the light, and the light feels good, but you still can't see at first. So you have to just let it come in, take it in, and allow yourself to be uncomfortable, because we grow the most when we are uncomfortable. Because if you're comfortable, you have no reason to change. You have no reason to grow. That's why, like in the Bible and in the Quran and in all of these holy books and in like these lessons from gurus, they're always saying that um, the people that have it the hardest to try and get into the kingdom of God are rich people because they're comfortable. So it's not necessarily because they have money. It's because they're comfortable. Because when you're comfortable, um, you have to motivate yourself to change. You have to have a different motivation to change. And then what you start finding is that as you're going on this life path, you begin to get to these places where you're having to make choices, but both choices are good. So, like, if you've come from a place where it's like everything sucks, everything's bad, everything's horrible, that's such an uncomfortable place that you have to change, and there's only one direction to change. When you're at rock bottom, the only way to change is up. But when you get to the top of that pit, now the changes that you're making are lateral. And so they're not as easy to see. And it's not as easy to be motivated to do them. So actually being uncomfortable is a good thing because it's going to help you to grow. No, it's not. It's horrible. It sucks. It doesn't make it better, but it does help you in growing. And what you need to do now is take a breath and take a step back so that you can see in which direction do you need to grow. Does that help, Josh, and answer your question? While I'm waiting to hear from you, Josh, I'm going all the way back, New Beginnings, as far as I can, and see if I can find your question. I can't go back further. So the first thing that I can only see New beginnings, I can't go back further. I can see that you said that you want to see if those numbers are adding up with anything with your career journey and what's the right path for you. But I'm not sure what numbers you being. I'm not, yeah, no, I'm not seeing anything with you in numbers, new beginning. That's what's like so crazy. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but YouTube has been messing with all of us like all week long. Um, all right, so let me go back here to the bottom. Yeah. Okay, Josh. Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense. Keep coming in and asking questions. Let's keep discussing it. Let's keep the energy moving because you just don't want the energy to get stagnant. Because even when we're supposed to just be still and um, paying attention or being patient, we still have to keep the energy moving because trauma and the impacts trauma has on our life is actually stagnant energy. So just think about stagnant water. Like it gets really nasty and it's like it loses its life. Like water is living and it moves the energy, it moves with the energy and just sitting. So just being patient and sitting doesn't mean letting the energy get stagnant. Okay. I'm gonna wait again, new beginnings, to see if I can get your numbers. I don't know why I'm not seeing them. It's kind of freaking me out because then I do see LTFM's numbers. So I'm gonna write those down so that I don't lose those again. And I'll wait to hear from you, new beginnings, so that I can get your numbers, and then we'll look at these. So let's see. Okay, so these are times um, LTFM. So like 111, 333, 1111. Yeah, th- yeah, this is happening a lot. Um, yeah, 1311 also. Yep, yep. Okay, so let me come down here to the bottom and see if I can actually see new beginning stuff. You're welcome, Josh. Anytime. And this always like I hope that everybody is encouraged to be able to bring their information and their numbers here. Um because it actually helps all of us. Uh-oh, what's happening now? My voice is going in and out. Okay, maybe I just need to stay still. Is this better? I always have to be careful too because when I get like too excited, I actually break electronics. Okay. I'm gonna wait and see if we can get new beginnings numbers finally. And while we're waiting, um, oh my gosh, people are having a party in their car today. This is like the third car that's gone by that's just got super loud music. While we're okay, okay, good, okay. I'm glad you could hear me. um, while we're waiting for new beginnings, let's look at these numbers. So, um, LTFM, when we already know that whenever you have these double digit numbers, they're really just trying to get your attention. Um, because what they're doing is they're building up amplification of the vibration. And these very much feel like just trying to get your attention. Like they're trying to get your attention for something else. Um, when you see these numbers, I know you've said that like this 1311 you see at work. Um, oh, okay. It's okay. It's getting better. Good. So new beginnings. I can't find your numbers, so if you want to put them in the chat again, we can look at them. Um, but LTFM, where and when are you seeing these numbers? Is it like a certain time of the day? Is it a certain place? Are all of them like at work? Because it feels like it's trying to get your attention. And so you need to like start paying attention to when and where you see them, or what you were thinking, or who you were talking to when you're seeing these repeating numbers. So I'll wait just a minute to be able to get that response, because this feels like these are just getting your attention, but there's actually another message that's underneath here. And for anybody else that is seeing these repeating numbers, this is happening a lot, especially this week. And I think it's because there are some big messages coming in here at the end of October, and so for the next 2 weeks. And it's because these messages have been waiting for us to get through that 9 cycle of January to September. And now that we have at least a little bit recovered from the September 9 energy, now we are getting these bigger messages. So we need to be paying very close attention to when, where we are seeing these numbers repeatedly, what we're thinking, what we're feeling, who we're talking to, because there's bigger, deeper messages within them. Okay, so the 111 is at work. Okay. Okay. So really what uh, the message is seeming like, if this is where you're like at work and you're having deeper conversations when you see this, it's one, confirmation for what is being said in those deep conversations. So making sure that you are documenting some of that information, because you very much feel like your energy, LTFM, very much feels like a scribe, like you're meant to document these things. So make sure you're documenting things. Um and when you document things, um there should be certain words or certain phrases that are either repeated or that just come across louder. Like the vibration just feels louder. That's where the messages are. So if you can think of any of those words or phrases, we can definitely look at those too. which numbers, new beginnings? The ones that Judy put in the chat. If you put numbers, new beginnings, if you put more numbers in this chat and I'm not seeing it, is anybody else seeing numbers? Because I'm not seeing actual numbers. It is freaking me out. LTFM, do you have additional questions around this? Okay. So the message very much is around being that scribe. So you might need to start carrying around a notebook and documenting those things. So make sure that, yeah, because you're getting a lot of messages in and you need to be documenting it, LTFM. Hey, Cousin B. Thanks for being here. It's good to see you. Yeah, somebody tell me that they are either not or are seeing new beginnings numbers because it's freaking me out that I cannot see her numbers. Okay. Okay. What the heck is happening? That's so crazy. Okay. Give me a little bit more of what you need. LTFM. Are these more numbers that are coming up after these that you want to look at? I saw yours, lovely, because that's what I was gonna come back to after I looked at LTFMs and New Beginnings, but I don't see New Beginnings. So for you, lovely, I see the 243, um, and I think you mentioned four also. I don't. YouTube is doing something crazy this last week in particular. There's actually been a couple times on lives that um nobody has seen me. No, like I keep putting in chats and like no, they're not. I keep getting an error message that they're not coming up or they can't be sent or something. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is crazy. I want what the okay, so you know what, new beginnings? What we might um the message that we might be getting is that your numbers aren't meant for this space. YouTube could just be an asshole, but the universe also can use that as well. So, if you send me your numbers in Discord, we'll look at them together. And then the parts that need to come out for everybody, um, I can bring tomorrow as part of tomorrow's live. Yes, yes, lovely. Yeah, YouTube is being taken over, and that's a problem. Like everything is going to change, but also it's so interesting because because I can see everything in numbers, I actually see like the codes and stuff. And there's some pretty big coding changes that are happening, um, like on the back end of YouTube. Um, the best way I can describe it is like, um, if you're looking at a picture and all the color is right, and then all of a sudden, all of the sky turns red instead of blue. That's what it looks like. I don't know how else to describe it. Hey, Tiptoe Joe, welcome in. Thanks for being here. Okay, did you just put in your new numbers? Oh, okay. So 111, 11, and 111. And you said, I did see your message, New Beginnings, that you're seeing this um, when, like on the TV, on license plates, billboards, going to the store. Okay. Yeah, all of those. Oh my gosh. Why would it, never mind. I'm not even going to ask why we couldn't see them. But those, so similar to what we were seeing with Judy's numbers, and Lovely will look at your 243 after this. Um, so similar to what we saw with Judy's numbers, this is really just what's happening right now. Hi, Mighty. Welcome back in. So, this is just what's happening right now with all of this new energy coming in. And I'm not surprised that you're seeing this because you have a lot of new things that are happening in your life. Things are definitely shifting and making way for new things to come in. What you want to make sure to do is be very intentional with this new energy. So you're getting this message from the universe that you have all of this new energy that you can use towards things, but you need to be very intentional. You may need to like develop some kind of routine, whether it's journaling, um, it's not, yeah, it feels like something like journaling, where, like, at the beginning of your each day, you are setting your intentions. And this could just be um, like setting your to do list for the day. It also could be writing if you, this feels good. So if you, this is what I want you to do, New Beginnings. I'm so glad we got to see this because this will be actually helpful for everybody. So when we are trying to be intentional with the vibrations, because remember, I just said that the zero is the only vibration that we do not have control over. That means we have control over all of these other vibrations. And so we can direct them. We can take the time to understand how they work like a tool and be able to use them as a tool or a resource in our life. For you, New Beginnings, and for anybody else, this could probably work for you also, Judy. Anybody that's getting a lot of new energy into your life, which is just in general what we're doing, um, is, oh, I hope you're going live, cousin B. Yeah, it's Friday. We'd love to come to Twitch. Okay, is we want to help direct it. So what I want you to do is here are the steps to setting your intentions and getting it as part of your regular routine. So, first thing, I want you to write down 1 to 3 um, goals, but I want you to write them like as a vision. So I see myself, yeah, I like to dance. I see myself in this environment, in this job, feeling this way, doing these things. So these are very big. You want them to be very big goals or visions. So write down 1 to 3 of them. And then you want to add as many details as you can. Oh, good, Judy. Good. So now you can make sure that you're doing these other steps also. So step 2 is adding details. So add as many details as you can. So what does it feel like? So what are these goals? And when you reach these goals, what is it going to be feeling like? What is it going to look like? Like, use all of your senses. What does it sound like? What does it taste like? What is it, all of them. Write as many details as you can. And then I want you to write it as a summary. So basically taking all those details and write it into a paragraph where it's like 3 to 5 sentences. And for real sentences, not some run-on sentences. Don't be writing some old run-on sentences. Good. This is what you're meant to do. It's not funny, it's the universe. The universe can't be funny. Or at least it thinks it's funny. But this is confirmation that you're doing the right thing and this is what you're meant to do. So, writing your goals or your visions, adding all the details you can, and then writing it as a summary. 3 to 5 sentences. No like run-on sentences and no half-ass sentences. If your Microsoft Word doesn't put a period at the end of it for you, it's not a fucking sentence. Sorry. Write it as a full sentence. So 3 to 5 sentences that can summarize all of those details and the goals that you have. And then I want you to write it in multiple places so you can read it and see it multiple times a day. So when I do this, I have one of them is like on my mirror. So when I'm brushing my teeth in the morning and sometimes at night, depending on what I eat, you're able to, I don't do words, but this is, I'm just saying, I'm just relaying the message. Put it in different places. So like put it on the mirror. So every time you're in the bathroom, like I drink a lot of water. So when I put it in the bathroom and I can read it every time I wash my, I know that's right, Cousin B. Every time I wash my hands, because I do wash my hands every time, as we all should be, you can read it while you're doing that. I have another one where I put it like in front of my computer. So whenever I'm sitting down in front of my computer, I'm reading it. So you're beginning to infuse these visions into your energy so you can begin to manifest them. This is one way to be very intentional and to help that intention direct those vibrations of where you want them to go. Good thing I'm not a teacher, right, Tiptoe Joe? I'm telling you, you. I try to be good because it's YouTube, but I really would prefer every other word to be a cuss word. No, no, that's cheating. New beginnings. That's cheating. I almost cussed again. You don't have me cussing again. You need to write it out with your fucking hands. That's what actually makes it powerful because you're infusing your energy in it. You don't computer. I love you, new beginnings. No, we want to be writing our intentions, our goals, our visions. Like when we're doing our 369 journaling, we want to be writing it, writing it, writing. I don't know. Like in it was like a few years ago that I all of a sudden was like feeling like I needed to journal and I needed to write more. And I didn't want to. I tried to put it on the computer. Man, that did not work. We actually generate and move and they were laying on of hands. They don't say we go lay on the computer. It's the laying on of hands because you are moving energy through your hands. You're taking energy in through your hands. You're also sending energy out through your hands. So you want to use your hands. And if you don't have hands, feet do the same thing. And if you don't have feet, your mouth does the same thing. So, you know what? Pick your pleasure. Oh my goodness. Y'all crack me up. Yeah. Well, and if you look lovely, you're right. Like a lot of the meditation is with your hands. And if you do, like I like to do Kriyas where it actually has a hand gesture that you do or a hand position that you hold um, when you're meditating. And it's to be able to control where that energy is going. You all crack me up. Oh my goodness. I know I'm tired. I know I'm tired because that's when the cussing comes out even, even more. Oh my goodness. Okay, so we had lovely. What other numbers do you have? New beginnings. Does this help you? Because I think at least one of these goals, if not all of them, should relate to your work. Oh, you're lucky, lovely. If you like to write, then yeah, you're in a good place to be able to make some magic happen. So I have your 243, lovely. Is there another one? Oh my goodness. You all crack me up. I love this. Oh my goodness. Okay. 243. All right. If I missed anybody else's numbers, put them in the chat because I think I am kind of tired. So I think I am gonna just do a couple more because I don't know what's gonna start coming out of my mouth. Like you got me like up here like cussing and shaking my hands. Oh man. oh. Oh no, you're fine, lovely. You're absolutely fine. Your energy feels just fine. So 243 and 841. All right, let's look at these. Oh, I know what we'll do. Okay. We'll do lovely's numbers and then I got to do the stupid topic. For any of you that weren't here at the beginning, um in meditation I was told to talk about a stupid topic that I don't want to talk about, but I'll talk about it. But we'll do it quick. Um okay. So, tell me, lovely, are these numbers that you're seeing? I know the 243 is like one of your favorite numbers. Tell me a little bit more about these numbers. And while you're typing that in, we'll start breaking them down. So, what we need to remember is that we write our numbers from left to right, but when we're working with the numbers as vibrations, we work with them from right to left. So this is actually what makes working with the vibrations different than working with the number. Yes, I did, Judy. Yes, I did. So you know when people are talking about the numbers and the statistics, and they're actually only working with the number, which is from left to right. But when we're working with the actual vibrations, we're working right to left. And so the first step is always here on the right. And then it's like stair steps where we are looking at these vibrations and how they're working together and building upon each other to be able to give us a message, but also to help guide us. And both of these feel more like we got to get to the next level. So if we add these up, this one is adding up to 9. And this one is adding up to 13, which then adds up to 4. Oh, so I just needed to write that at the same time you type that in. That 4 is your favorite number, huh? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, then this actually makes sense why these are resonating with you. So the 4, having the 4 as your favorite number, um, makes sense because with your birthday at September 10th, um, that means you are in that Virgo season time. And Virgos tend to prefer some stability because you are well, your mind is an earth sign. So whatever our um, sun sign is, it's how our brain works. So you feel most comfortable when you're in this stable place because that's when your mind feels stable. Um, and so that makes sense. But what's interesting is that we have the 4 at these middle positions. So there's always a step that you have to do before you actually get to that place where you feel stable. Really? I thought we got the numbers. I thought I got your numbers. Your 111, your 11, and your one. These? I thought we got them. Don't give up. If these are. And like I said, it might just be that we just need to talk in Discord. Oh. I have no idea. Then I have no idea whatsoever. I'm so sorry. Just put them in Discord and we can talk about them tomorrow. I'll add them into that. Okay, so lovely. You have like if you like the 4, you like feeling like you're instability. You don't like it when your stability is challenged. Um, but for both of these numbers, there's a step that you have to take to be able to get there. So here, this step is growth, where you need to grow in some way to be able to get to this place of stability. And here, you need to allow this new energy to come in. Um, and let's add these together so we can see what's happening here. Okay. So when we add these together, we get 1084. And this is again getting us to this 13, 4. And it is a parallel number. So when it has similar numbers, just in a different order, those are parallel numbers. Okay. So you're not seeing him either, Josh? Okay. But Judy, I thought you saw him earlier. I'm confused. All right, I'm trying not to be confused. So what it's these three numbers, this 841 and this 1084 that are the dominant vibrations. Um Lovely. So these dominant vibrations are telling you that all right, you can like this 4 and be in a comfortable place of stability, but what you really need to do is examine the foundations of this stability. What is making it feel stable or not stable? And by understanding that, then you can understand like this reap what you sow energy. Yeah. Yeah. There's something about some cycles that are repeating in your life that are it doesn't well it seems like you have to be okay with some of these cycles disrupting some of these cycles to disrupt your stability so you can allow this energy in. And this 10 energy is not just new energy, it's also God energy. So to be able to fully let God into your life, and this new energy into your life, you have to let that stability um, be uh, shaken up a little bit. Does this make sense? I don't know what's happening, New Beginnings, and I don't know what I could do on my side either. Okay, I'll go back and look in here in just a minute. Ah, that makes sense, lovely. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like walking around in circles because you won't go down the path. You need to go down the path. You need to take some time um and understand why it feels unstable. Why does it feel like you can't allow this new energy in? And be reassured that this new energy is coming in with this energy directly from God. It's meant for you. So allow it in because this 13 is transformation. This is the biggest change in your life that could ever happen. And that's when you'll really get to the true stability. So you're starting at this 4 here thinking that you're stable and you're actually not. There's a lot more meant for you. Stop getting stuck in these cycles and walking around in circles so that by breaking up that stability, it'll allow God to come in and support you in having this new energy come in so you can have a really big transformation. Like it's meant to have a really big transformation in your life. Not not just to who you are, but in the life around you. Nope. Nope. This is confirmation that it's not too late. It's not too late because if this message is still coming out, it's still right there. You just have to allow it to happen. Our blessings, are it's interesting because when I look at people, I can see I can see their blessings in their aura. So our blessings come in as a vibration and they sit in our auric field and they're just waiting for us to pull them in. And a lot of times we get too afraid or we think we're not doing the right thing or there's something else we need to do and we make it all complicated and they're right there to be able to pull into our space. So no, it hasn't been too long. It's not too late. Examine what you think stability is and why you think you have to be stuck there and why it can't be different. So then you can begin to break up these cycles so you can allow that new energy to come in because this new energy is coming in with God. It's God energy. So this is really important. I'm glad we were able to get to these numbers. So lovely, put any of your questions or comments in the chat and while you're doing that, I'm going to go back and see if I can find new beginnings numbers. I don't know why I can't see them. It's so crazy. All right, let's see. Going back, going back. Okay, okay. I think I found them. I think I found them finally. I did not see these anywhere else, but I think I am seeing them now. It's these 222 444 333, and are those the ones that are directly you want to see if they're directly related to work? I hope that's right because this has been crazy. Oh, okay, thank you, Josh. Thank you for confirming that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I understand that, lovely, because my I'm a Capricorn. So my sun sign is Capricorn. So as earth signs, we move kind of slow, and we have a hard time not being stubborn and not allowing things to shift and change. But this is necessary. You have to take that leap. You can't, all you can know is that what's meant for you is sitting right there, and that God is in there and is trying to help you to get it. Oh, that's creepy. All right, I'm gonna leave like that synchronicity alone. So, and I think I'll leave the weirdness, well, like the stupid thing for tomorrow. We'll start with that tomorrow. I'll tell you what it is before we go, but we'll start with it tomorrow. Okay, so, um, that happens. So it definitely feels like these are coming in together. So they're coming in as these big repeating numbers to get your attention, but these are meant to be added together, because the bigger message is in them together. And so we have nine, nine, of course, 999 2. But all of these nines. I thought we were done with all of these nines for September, but I have to keep reminding myself that we are uh, in a 9 year. So, new beginnings. This is like really creepy. You keep bringing me some creepy ass shit when I'm tired and can't help but cuss. Because, first of all, here's your life path number in here. So, this is confirmation that it's definitely for you. And when we add these up, this adds up to 29, which is your life path number. So, it's confirmation. It's letting you know that everything that's coming in, all of these vibrations that are coming in, they are meant for you. And the ones that you want to pay closest attention to are these nines for endings. These don't feel like shiftings, they feel like endings. So if things need to end for you to be able to fully step into what you're being handed, so whether this is your job or anything else in your life, whatever needs to end, if it's the way you're thinking, if it's certain people, if it's certain things that are happening, you need to let them end, because it's meant to end so that you can actually get to this really big energy of ascension. So this is really big, like moving up into the world. And I don't, now this is creepy because I see you all responding to like Cousin B and New Beginnings and Josh, and I don't see their comments. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but I'm getting the fuck off of here. Because something creepy is happening and I don't like it. But if you can New Beginnings, and if anybody that can see New Beginnings comments, can let me know what she's saying if this is confirmation. But it looks like a lot of confirmation that what is coming in is definitely for you, because you've got your life path number here twice. It's meant for you. Accept it. It's meant for you. And it's meant to really try and bring you to a place where you are raising your vibrations, not just yours, but in your life and for everybody around you, including your boys. Okay, good. But the big thing is to continue to be very intentional, like we were talking about before. So making sure that you're intentional with those visions and those goals, because that's going to help with this ascension process. It's going to put you in a place where you are comfortable um, with this these new blessings that are coming in. Because unfortunately, we get these blessings and this higher energy that's raising our vibration, but it's also uncomfortable at first. So it's allowing that to come in. Okay, I see Josh's oh, okay. So AI want to allow Josh's message to come through now to say, yeah, it's disrupting the truth. Okay. Okay, I see you. Okay. Yeah. It's so true. Yes, lovely. That's definitely it. But I'm glad we finally got to see these numbers, because new beginnings, this is really important. You're getting confirmation that's what's coming in is for you, including these endings and these things that are ending, the people that are moving out. Um, Definitely need to happen so you can get to this higher vibrational state. And by you getting to this higher vibrational state, um, is going to help others around you, including your boys. Okay, good gracious. Okay, I think I need to be done because I don't know what YouTube is doing today, but it's messing with me and I'm already tired. So I already feel like I'm losing my mind. So the last thing I will let you know, so the stupid topic that kept coming up in meditation that I needed to um, talk about, but I'll talk about it tomorrow, is this stupid 6-7 thing. But because it's coming from a hip hop artist out of Philadelphia, is like the origin of some of this. We'll talk about it tomorrow. We'll focus on that tomorrow. And so tomorrow we'll talk about hip hop. Make sure that you bring um, all of your hip hop topics, uh, all of your numbers and songs and lyrics, and we'll work with all of those tomorrow in live. I don't know what time, but just be ready. That's all I can say. And I know I have to catch up in Discord. So I will catch up in Discord so I get all of your messages and respond and all of that good stuff. Thank you so much for being here. I am definitely ready to go and get some dancing on in Twitch. I might need to take a walk. I can't be going to sleep cussing. Thank you so much for being here. Please make sure to hit the like button on your way out, and I'll see you tomorrow. Tomorrow. I'm not even going to start singing. Tomorrow. I'll see you tomorrow. Everybody have a wonderful night. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for subbing, lovely. And hopefully you'll come back. I hope you enjoyed your first time here. I'll see you all really soon. Bye.